Long-awaited sequel, Hollow Knight Silksong, launched this morning, taking several storefronts down with it due to the ensuing rush. With no reviews available at launch, we have to be the only gaming news show brave enough to ask, will 8 years of hype end up disappointing people?
And I wonder, I don't know any game that people have waited 8 years for and it's satisfied everybody. Actually, maybe Half-Life 2, but that was a long time ago. You know, I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much, but I did see a lot of folks basically saying that they're not into Metroidvanias, but the hype about Silksong got them in, so it's a hype-filled day. It's a rare day in gaming, so we're here to celebrate it and cover all the news.
Yeah, that's right. Hollow Knight Silksong is off to a roaring start. The game has only been out for a few hours at the time of writing, and it's already the third most played game on Steam.
Yeah, and the last time I checked in, it was almost about to overtake Dota 2 on Steam, so that's pretty intense. Yeah, right now it's got 535,000 concurrent players. That's already more than doubled the peak player count of April's The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion Remastered, which peaked at 216,000 players.
Wow, doubled it. It's also sailed past May's Elden Ring Night Rain, which peaked at 313,000 players.
Yeah, so it's already bopping a lot of huge names, a lot of nostalgia. Really cool stuff. And despite only being available for just a few hours, the game already has an overwhelmingly positive review aggregate on Steam with a unheard of, at least for me, 97% positive review rating.
Oh my gosh, it's going well for Silksong, is to say the least.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, as you expect, not all these reviews are nuanced in their critique just yet, with Steam user Alpacly leaving a positive review after half an hour that simply reads, "was released."
It happened. Now we can all rejoice, yeah. The Silksong rush even knocked most major digital storefronts offline, or at least caused some momentary disruptions.
Yeah, this is very rare. This does not happen. Steam users posted errors redeeming codes or refreshing game pages on social media.
Yeah, the Nintendo eShop even glitched out a bit, even going fully offline for a short time this morning.
Yeah, that's crazy. The Verge's Tom Warren bagged the hat trick, an error buying Silksong from Steam, PlayStation, and Nintendo all at the same time.
That's it. Yeah, a rare trinity. All storefronts seem to be up and functioning by now. Even still, I think that's a real world reminder that I didn't expect, that Silksong has really reached just another tier of internet popularity. And they did it by being quiet. That's the fun part. Just letting people broil and broil. I don't know, this stuff's all really, really interesting to me.
That's so cool. Writing for game developer Diego Arguello, counted 8 games that all delayed their publishing dates to avoid launching next to Silksong today.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit like buying into the hype or inside of a bubble or whatever. But no, the metrics were there before. It was, I think, the most wishlisted game on Steam, all of Steam right before this. We talk a lot about Steam because that's the storefront that has the most exposed metrics and APIs. So we try to kind of ground ourselves in reality. So I guess, yeah, the hype was there, and the sales of the original Hollow Knight were definitely there. But I'm gonna ask anyway, because we're brave enough to have these discussions. Bruce, do you think the hype for Silksong is deserved? What makes Silksong so different than any other premium indie game with touching music and weird little characters and quirky art and platforming and orbs and, skill trees? I mean, it's got it all, but yeah, what makes Silksong so special?
It's funny. I don't necessarily think that it is that special. I mean, it's a good game. It's a good Metroidvania. I played Hollow Knight, 6 hours of it or whatever, and I was like, cool, I know what this is. And so if Silksong is the same thing, then great. The one way I will say that the hype is deserved, because I want to see this happen for every indie game developer that makes a good game that's $20. That's why I'm excited for this game, not because of the game. I'm excited for the developers, and I'm excited for everybody that's excited to play the game. It seems like everybody's enjoying it. So these are all good things, and I like to see these big wins for gaming on the whole. And I obviously I feel bad for the other indie developers that don't have this hype they're able to build over the course of 7 years or whatever it's been since Hollow Knight. So there is that, and I'm sure a lot of other indie devs are trying to take notes on this, but I don't know that you can really recreate this. This is a viral moment that I don't know that even Team Cherry could have ever expected or even tried to capitalize on. I think they've sort of built on it a little bit, but to me, you know what this feels like, Lawrence? This feels like meme stocks in 2021. Meme stocks exploded on Reddit, and I remember reading on Reddit, just those Reddit threads were just blowing up of the stocks to buy, like AMC and BlackBerry and all this crazy shit. And I was like, there's no way it's gonna jump over to the real world, and it totally did, and it did in spades. So it was really interesting to see, and I think that this is what this feels like to me.
Yeah, that's really interesting analysis. I normally when things like this happen, I slip into a scolding tone because there's some negative consequence of it. But this time, who cares? You know, it's indie darling developers. They, from what we can tell through interviews and stuff, they developed this game in the perfect conditions, had the perfect financial backing for it. Not a lot of people have that, kind of like you said. Not a lot of other indie devs can release a game like this at $20, which is, I think, another factor here. But yeah, the more I ruminate on it, the more I realize that I don't know if it's associated specifically with gaming or if it's just people. But we sure do like looking forward to something. In some cases, we like looking forward to something even more than getting it. So I think, especially in, gamer consumption culture, such as it is, there's always been that element, looking forward to the next big console, the next big game, the next thing that's going to change everything, GTA 6, what have you. So usually when people set their targets on the thing that everyone agrees to look forward to, a lot of people end up disappointed because no game can really live up to that mania, if you want to put a word on it. But it seems like, weirdly in this circumstance, it seems like most people's expectations, like nobody's expecting it to, revolutionize gaming in the way that some people do when they get a little overhyped on something. It just seems like, yeah, it's going to be a really good Metroidvania. I'm really excited to play it. Here's my $20. So, yeah, it happened. Well, we'll see. I think usually when something gets this popular, there's kind of a social media bounty on it. Eventually, people are going to love it so much they'll start to hate it. And then it's the job of YouTubers like us to come up with some kind of negative narrative to feed everybody so that we get all the views. Although that doesn't even happen on YouTube anymore. So maybe that cycle's been cut off. So I don't want this milk to spoil, but it is really nice right now because everyone seems like their heads are in good spots and everyone's just enjoying a good game.
Yeah, I don't really think this milk is going to spoil. I think Silksong is going to be an indie darling because it's got everything going for it. It literally has everything going. It's the indie devs. There's only a few of them. They've worked for years. It's going to be a super solid game with no bugs. Like, I truly don't think that there is. I mean, it's funny because, like, I don't want to say that there's no ambition in Silksong, but that's kind of what it feels like. They're just like, yeah, we'll make another game and it'll have a few other extra little things, but it'll be perfect. And that's great for managing expectations. It's not a Cyberpunk that was over ambitious right from the start. And they're like, we're going to try to get it to run on shitty consoles and like. None of that. It's just like, we know what we made. It goes on these platforms. It's $20 and they've nailed it. I really think that they've nailed it all the way around. And I don't think anybody is going to sour on this. I don't know if there's going to be a negative story coming out of this.
Yeah, I agree. The jaded timeline was that Team Cherry finds a lot of success with Hollow Knight. They hire up 300 staff. They start a computer animated project with Sony Animations and then none of it comes out. They fire everyone. And then we would have gotten Silksong 2 years ago, except it would have just been another Hollow Knight. And then, yeah, the CEO would be out on a yacht somewhere. And villainized but forgotten. Yeah, that's kind of what we're used to, right? So I agree. I think to some degree the meta-narrative also made it easy for people to buy into this as the future game to look forward to. Yeah, the fact that they kept it small, kept true to their creative principles, and spent 8 years making the next one. Luckily, we're swimming in games, so nobody got mad at them for the wait. That's the other thing. Everybody seemed to, and also in contrast to Cyberpunk. Because yeah, they blew up. They hired a ton. They wanted to develop 2 AAA games concurrently. They had a spin-off series with Edge Runners. Yeah, that's actually a really good comparison. So yeah, they went from being the underdog to being the overdog big time. But Team Cherry, perennial. Is that the word? Yeah, perennial underdogs. We'll use that one. Whatever. So yeah, everything. I like everything about this, and the success is well deserved. So, and also, I can't wait to start it myself.
Me too. It's funny because I'm going to stream this and play it, and I'm going to be like, "Yep, Metroidvania," but everyone is playing it and enjoying it and having fun. And who am I to stop their hype, Lawrence? Who am I, huh?
Yeah, who are we? And even though it's something that I routinely try to do, but I gotta stop that. So we'll move on from there. Here's a random thing. This has nothing to do with Silksong. But this is weirdly cool. Natsume Atari filed a trademark for Shatterhand in Japan. Shatterhand.
I don't know what that is.
This was like an NES platformer. You're just a fucking guy with a metal fist and you punch shit. I think you're a cyborg man. Whatever. It's an awesome platformer. Look at the cover art. Just look at it. It's beautiful. So if they're doing a remake or remaster, re-release, I don't care. Shatterhand is back. Shatterhand.
Okay. Well, Lawrence never heard of it, but now that you've told me about it, I have to go look at it and understand why people. And you specifically like this.
It's just got rad music, and you run around and punch stuff with Cyber Fist. pretty straightforward.
Sounds a lot like Metal Eden, like I was playing that last night. And it was cool, by the way. Metal Eden was cool. It was cool.
Yes, what did you think about Metal Eden? Man.
Metal Eden is good. It's overpriced. It is super cool. Like the coolest video game you've ever played. Maybe too cool for its own good. There's so much like philosophical bullshit happening as you're playing the game.
Yeah, I'm all about that, but yeah.
No, I know. And like it's hilarious to listen to because there's pretty much no through line. There's a through line. Like it's really hard to it's hard to understand in the sense that you're trying to play the game and also listening to Nexus spew about digital philosophy. But that said, the game itself is awesome. There's a couple of minor little critiques I had, but I was like trying to make it like one of the best boomer shooters ever, Doom. Like I was like, oh well, Doom does this and Doom does that, but Doom is a master of its craft, and Metal Eden is very close. So I enjoyed what it was. It's $40 on Steam, which I think is too much. It should be somewhere in the neighborhood of like 25 to 30. But
yeah, it'd be a lot easier to recommend. I agree. 40 is a stiff purchase, but yeah, Doom Eternal. It's basically another one of those where your moves generate resources, ammo, armor, health, the whole thing. They've just moved around the mechanics to not be a direct copy of Doom, but it's Doom Eternal. And I love Doom Eternal. But yeah, you mentioned Nexus. That was one of the bright spots of the demo for me. The voice acting there is so great. He's just so like tortured and poetic. Like he's very much a dark and twisted, jokerized kind of AI. Who knows who he is, but yeah, he's constantly whining about how torturous life is. Meanwhile, you're ripping out like robot guts and blowing shit up and running on walls. So, but yeah, the performance I just found just exceptional. He was so fun to listen to because he's such a little twerp. So it actually kind of reminded me of I Am Your Beast, the voice performance in that game. You get a lot of like character nuance through just the little warbles in people's voice delivery, which is also on Game Pass now, so check it out if you haven't. But yes, Metal Eden, that's your Inside Games Chat indie game select of the day. It's a bit pricey, but I'll pay anything for Y2K laced sci-fi Doom Eternal knockoffs. Man, that's my game up and down.
It literally is exactly the genre that Lawrence loves. And I will say again, I had a lot of fun playing it. I think it's pretty short. I want to say it's only like 4 hours long. At least that's what people
that's
were.
That's rough for $40 then.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying like, there might, hopefully they'll release some more content or something along the way. But for people like Lawrence, it's absolutely perfect, and the game really is good. It's a very, very good game.
Well, thank you for chatting Metal Eden with me, and thank you, viewer, for watching this episode of Inside Games. If this is your first time, or maybe fifth time, whatever, please consider subscribing if you haven't. It's getting tough out here on YouTube. Choppy waters. A lot of gaming YouTubers have been complaining about this, and it's been hitting us too. Yeah, YouTube stuff is been down. So because of that, we're extra special grateful for all the patrons that support us directly. We have to shout out a handful here that have already 100%ed Silksong, because we have the most intense gamers in our Patreon. UESC Battleroid, JEmbers87, Brian Cosner, and Kyle Heaton. We're going to need your help getting all those medals. So thank you for supporting us, and I'll be hitting you up in DMs, Patreon. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, please do so. It's an easy way to see all of our content. You know, YouTube scatters it to the wind, but it's all in a nice little row there. It's publicly viewable, and every episode gets a deep cut Lawrence Select meme from the far reaches of the internet. I've been collecting this for like 20 years, so now I have a use for it. Anyway, check it out. Deep cuts of the day, every episode. That's our Patreon, and thank you again for watching. We'll see you next time on Inside Games.